Sandler, you so silly. So, here's my review of Pixels, but what'd you think of that intro? And I've been playing with Blender, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You should guys check out Blender if you're into those. Get an intro for your own if you have a YouTube channel. But so Pixels. Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Michelle Monaghan, Peter Dinklage, and Josh Gad. I like Josh Gad. Some of his recent stuff. I know he does a lot of stage, but he's been doing movies recently. A lot of comedies, like with Kevin Hart. I didn't see some of those, but they looked funny. I just haven't really watched him. I like the stuff that he was in. You know, everybody likes him as the snowman thing in Frozen. He did that voice well. But the story, Sandler and friends, they're arcade gamers from going back in 1982 when they were 10 years old, 11 years old, and they were a part of the first arcade competition. So the competition was filmed and had the Guinness Book of World Records people there, all that stuff. It was a big event, and it came down to Adam Sandler and Peter Dinklage playing Donkey Kong. And Peter Dinklage won, so Adam Sandler was kind of shattered. But they took the footage from that and they included it on the disc of stuff that they put on Voyager for the Voyager mission. On that disc they had music and movies, information on humans and history, all that kind of stuff. And I guess this was one of those things they put on there amongst all the other stuff. And apparently an alien race found it and thought that that competition footage was an act of war. Don't know why. They don't explain it. They just say it's an act of war. But anyway, maybe it's because they're made of pixels? I don't know. But so they end up challenging Earth, or the way they see it, the aliens see it as accepting the challenge of Earth. So they challenge them to a war. Each side gets 3 lives. And their warriors are sent down, but their warriors are the video games that they used to play, like a Centipede, Pac-Man. There was Mario I saw running through there, and we can't really fight against them. We're learning. They have these cubes of energy is what they are made of, and then when they hit something, they can turn it into pixels, energy cubes that fall apart. Don't explain why, it just does. And it doesn't always. So they touch things or run into them, and it pixelizes them and takes them apart. But other times you can walk on them, you can touch them. Sometimes maybe the aliens have to want to do it. I don't know. They don't explain that either. Also, they all of a sudden get weapons that can go up against them. They kind of explain that once, very shortly. Something about concentrated light. But then all of a sudden they have all these other weapons. Now, logically the movie doesn't make any sense. However, it's a comedy. And it's not just a comedy, it's a stupid, silly comedy. It was meant to be a stupid comedy. So you can't go in there expecting Shakespeare. The directing was Chris Columbus, which kind of surprised me. I didn't know he had directed it, and I can't really see him doing an Adam Sandler movie. That was odd. But, you know, branch out, do different things. You know, he was doing a lot of Harry Potter for a while, so This is something different, maybe. On the production side, it was a high production value. I mean, the movie was a big budget, so you're going to have big production, but nothing that stood out to me. Not very many inside sets. There were a lot of, it was outdoor filming, and the outdoor stuff looked good. The inside stuff looked good on a production side. The writing, it was a normal Adam Sandler movie. I saw it with my brother and my dad, and we got it on Netflix because we weren't going to pay for it. We just wanted to see if it was as bad as what everybody says. I went in there with low expectations, and I got what I was expecting. There were a few times that I laughed, but all in all, I'm not going to probably watch it again. Once was enough. I wouldn't recommend seeing it in a theater. I wouldn't pay that much for it, but getting it on Netflix, yeah, that's fine. Streaming it online, that's fine. My brother, I agree with what my brother said. He said it's the exact same formula as every other Adam Sandler movie. It wasn't a horrible movie, it just nothing special. It had the same format that all Adam Sandler movies have. Now, he didn't write it, but it was his Happy Gilmore Productions. So, I'm sure he had a say in the writing, or at least how the story was structured. But even if it wasn't, the guy who did write it wrote it like a regular Adam Sandler movie. I don't think it's going to make much profit. I think it was too high of a budget for the kind of movie they were going for. You know, those kind of humor movies, you shouldn't have a large budget, because the humor is very specific in that you have to like those kind of movies. And there aren't as many people that like those kind of movies to justify the cost of that movie. Now, the one thing I did really like was the special effects. I really liked the way that they had the pixels. It looked great. You know, it wasn't bad special effects. Those were kind of cool, but that's it. That was the only thing that was really cool about the movie, and the few times that I had a giggle. But I don't think it justifies the cost. I don't think they're going to make much of a profit if they even make their money back. So, I don't recommend seeing it. If you're in the mood, go for it. You know, it's kind of like Batman and Robin. Of course, no, that one was a horrible movie. But it was so bad it was funny. It wasn't trying to be funny, it was just so bad that it was funny. This was trying to be funny, and then they had a couple of moments where they were, but for the most part, nah. I would give it 1 star. So if you like my review, like, subscribe, share, all the normal stuff, and tell your friends, and I will see you guys in the next video.